Hey YouTube, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of gameplay. And I think I've gotten this build to a place where I'm pretty happy with. And yeah, I think it's time for an actual build guide. Kind of, I don't know. This is my first build guide. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. So yeah, essentially this is a VILATRIA'S set item build, so turning meteor into lightning, so a lightning meteor build. And yeah, I think I don't really think this build at least over excels uh compared to more stronger builds. Like it's not tanky, but it's not like the most heavy hitting like how you would expect from like erasing strike. So you know, kind of keep your hopes down, but I think the journey has come to an end for me. I think there is a lot more optimization I could do, and I could potentially reach 1,000 corruption, but I think at 1,000 it's kind of like, what's the point? I mean, you gotta play so safe, and you gotta not get hit by anything. It's kind of not a fun way of grinding. So I mean, I I definitely think this could reach over 1,000. I, I mean, I could optimize it. Like I said, I could optimize it, make me take a little bit less damage. But that out of the way, I guess we'll start with some pros and cons. So this build primarily is actually it's very hard to think of some pros here. I'm really trying, guys. I'm really trying, but if you're gonna be comparing this build to other super strong builds out there that are either super excelling at everything or super excelling like at one thing, like like the Z DPS judgment and no damage taken. You're not outputting that much damage, but almost no damage taken. Or you go like for like a more all DPS Void Knight, fucking hitting fucking Uber Aberoth for like 10 mil. This build is not at any of those levels, sadly. Uh, Pros. Let's see. What can I think of for a pro? Um, it's a sorc. There's not a lot of sorcs out there. I'll tell you that much. Um, it's a set item. You don't see a lot of set items going around. I mean, even with the new set changes, I feel like everyone's still so focused on you know, the meta right now. So maybe you could say not being part of the meta is a pro. I don't know, man. I'm just talking at this point. But cons, of course, I'm not gonna list out every con, but the big ones. There is mana sustain. It takes 1 second to fill up my mana. So, not fill up my mana, but to gain some usable amount of mana back. So, like, this is literally how I'll be fighting. And once I run out, you will hold that, hold your focus, and in that one burst, you get, I think, like 300 mana. But you keep holding, you'll be pretty fast. This build does lean towards learning a lot more mechanics. For example, fighting that Harbinger on Reign of Dragons, learning how to time your focus is very important. The best timing window is obviously when he does his Dragon's Breath. I think most people would try to attack during that Dragon's Breath and use up all their mana, and that is a big mistake because once you're out of mana, you don't have your lightning ages up as much. If you're out of mana, you can't proc Flame Ward, as like a last ditch effort to survive. And then, it just leads on to more issues than not. So Dragon's Breath, to go behind him, hold. And just hold, just keep holding until he is done with his Dragon's Breath. As soon as he's done, proc your Lightning AGs, proc your Flame Ward. We're using Flame Ward for a lot of damage. And then start blasting away. That is essentially what I'm doing against Uber Aberoth, sorry, not Uber Aberoth, against normal Aberoth. This build cannot handle Uber Aberoth. Defensively cannot. I think overtime, then I could DPS him down, but apart from that, it's gonna be a long journey if I even attempt it. So that is a big con, mana. Sorry for getting off topic. And of course, as I just said, um, defenses is a little bit awkward because you don't always have DR up all the time. Your ward gain is based on you spending mana, but you spending mana is you got to regain it at some point. You don't have infinite mana, so at some point you'll be just sitting there not gaining no mana, and you know, it's kind of awkward. The defense is kind of awkward to play around. Constantly keeping your lightning ages up is easy, but you just got to keep that in the back of your head. Lightning ages, I don't think it proc without mana. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't proc there, but not. It's kind of weird like that. Like for example, you saw it didn't proc that one time. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. Then another con is single target could be awkward because the way the overlapping and shotgunning, the more overlap and shotgun you have, the more damage, obviously. But sometimes it just doesn't hit. Like sometimes I'll gun down Orbis and like for like 10-second flat, and sometimes I can't even one cycle him. It's very awkward because the multipliers are kind of awkward like that. So that's something to keep in mind. So this is my setup. This what I'm running. Meteor, Flame Ward, Focus, Flame Rush, and Static Orb. For Meteor, I went mainly all damage. The minus 25% cast speed is a pretty big detriment when you're trying to, dump all your mana as fast as possible. But we go all the way up here for Stardust because this is 80% multiplier. And this will help pretty much get us to 100% crit. I have, I think, 98% crit with Meteor, which is a lot. More crit multiplier. 10 points all the way up here for all the Meteor nodes. For Flame Ward, I went with all defense, apart from, right here, the increased fire damage, which is converted to lightning with Lightning Ward. So this is 250% flat increase. So boom, 600,000. That is a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. And then yeah, pretty much just more DR, more DR. Um, grant me a burst award for, you know. Oh, I did not mean to run this. Sorry, I was doing some testing. Uh, yeah, you just pretend you never saw that. For our focus, our not ward, sorry, mana generator. We are going all the way up here. This is the bread and butter. Butter and bread? Sorry. Bread. Yeah, bread and butter. Uh, this, I mean, you spend all your mana, go down to zero, proc this 150 mana region. Just like that. We are going up here for the ward burst and mana burst. That is the 1 second thing I was telling you about. So you should be able to see it without all that mana regen. Boom, that 1 second burst. So this just a little bit more defense. The armor is really nice. Our armor without it is it should not be this high. Oh, sorry, it's just a zone. Usually it'd be like 32%. So I guess um with if why is this not activating? Oh, there we go. A 75 usually it'll be I think 64, 63. So 63 or ish percent mitigation, which is nice. So Flame Rush, this is our mobility and our other defensive button. So we are taking first thing you want to take is all the way down here. This is very important. This is to proc your static orb. Like I said earlier, these aren't as important, these two down here. You just have them just because I have the points. Um, take Runic Eclipse for of course, the DR, and then um, more buff duration, meaning um, more DR, more ward, more frenzy, just overall just more buffs, right? You got I just took this, so always applying lightning shred as I'm going through because energy equivalents turn into lightning. This is for movement. This is still our mobility at the end of the day. So yeah, this is not as important. You could take this. The cooldown's already really short. I think it's like 3.5 seconds without this. So yeah, sorry if I'm going through this really fast. I just don't make a lot of build guides. I don't know what I'm doing. For static orb, we are going all the way down here. This is the most important. Well, no, 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 sorry, sorry. Taking these two first are the most important, so it does not drain your mana. And then you will come down here, then grab all four for that 8 seconds lightning H's. Not that important, just more, just more stuff. More and more. Like I said, the main reason we are using this is for static armor. The more damage and, 25% DR. Yeah, so that is the skills. Another quick look at the skills, like if you want to pause it or something. Sorry if, like I said, I'm sorry if I'm going through this really fast. It's like 5 in the morning too. I got work today. Okay. Focus. Then we got Flame Rush. And then we got Static Orb. Yeah, so just pretty much simple setup. More res, more intel, health, mana, more crit. Trying to get to 100% crit. Um, and we're going with Arcane Momentum, which is really helpful for when we're bossing, when we're DPSing down a target. So our cast speed normally is 15, and technically is like -10 with the meteor passive with the multiplicative damage but lower cast speed. But as we start casting, it will start going up and up and up, and we'll eventually start becoming more positive in the cast speed. We're taking arcane momentum. It's just really nice. All the bonuses here are really nice. The movement speed is really nice. Like everything here is really nice. Of course, we're taking this for the crit and more intel. Intel is can't be bad. We're gaining a lot from this. I think it was like 300% crit or something like that. So that's a lot. And then we're stacking mana to get to that 1,000 threshold. So just the 5 points here is fine because the ward per second is really strong. Afterglow, just more damage, more ward retention. It's kind of nice. Lightning pen, more crit. Trying to max out my crit. More multiplier, nice. Ward decay threshold. This is really good. Ward decay threshold in general is really nice. Same reason why we take this. It's just really nice. I mean, can't go wrong with that. You have more stable ward. You know, so this is good. It's good. This is kind of where I started experimenting a lot, and this kind of where I found kind of like that bread and butter for like a mix between good AoE, good bossing, enough bossing overlap to where it's nice, is taking a few points into this. It doesn't have to be 8. I just went with as many extra points as I think I had, and I just dumped it onto this. More mana and mana spent gain as ward is really important. Our whole build is kind of based off around this, defensively, anyways. And like I said, Archmage really strong with high mana ability. Yeah. So for Rune Master, we're gonna be taking Unsealed Mana, um, Arcane Focus, and Transcendence. These all kind of work together quite nicely. Cast speed from here is really nice. This is where our cast speed I showed earlier is coming from is this. Um, you know, 5 points just so we can get the Arcane Focus. And then you get ward gain on direct spell cast, which is nice. More intel, always nice. And then we're getting to this for the high amounts of ward per second. It's a lot. And like I said, Arcane Warden for ward decay threshold. Okay, so let's just start with the Vilatria's set. So this is probably the best base for endgame, this helmet. It could be a lot better. I got super low roll on the mana spent gain as ward. For me, I think the lightning penetration is actually quite valuable. And of course, ideally you want T7 intel. So ideally you kind of just want either you want crit avoidance or reduce damage from crits. One of them are fine. Just how I said this is the best end game base, this one is probably the second best staff. I still think the best staff is getting the gate staff. And the gate staff have just insane amount of flat damage. The gate staff also makes your meter cost a lot more, which the more it costs, the more mana you know you get. It's kind of double-edged sword. The +1 elemental skill is really strong too. Don't get me wrong, this staff is strong, but gate staff might be a little bit stronger. Who knows? This one I got lucky. Perfect roll on lightning damage, 384. Um, yeah, perfect roll on mana spent gain as ward. I'm not gonna be replacing this anytime soon. I'll tell you that much. Stun chance. This is where we get a lot of stun from. Now this is a godsend craft right here. I could. One thing I wish I got, which I'm not complaining, cause this is already it. This is it right here. I don't think I'm finding anything better for like I don't know for the foreseeable couple of days. If I'm grinding really hard, who knows? Um, yeah, but T7 on mana would have been nice. T7 on intel instead of mana would have been nice. Getting a lot of crit from a ring, um, get ward per second, ward decay threshold, max out your res. Don't want the mana regen, but you know, could get a better ring. Um, you know, definitely not best in slot. Better helm, This I don't think I'm finding anything better. Uh, okay, that's a lie. I have another nihilist that I haven't put into a Nemi yet that could be potentially better, but I won't know until I roll it. So for now, I don't think I'm finding anything better than this. The less armor is kind of downer, but I mean, what you gonna do? Strand of Souls. So this is where I could kind of start going a little bit more into defense. I could take off the lightning damage. Um, I have thought of a lot of different belts, and I think by far this has been the most sustainable belt because the mana spent gain as ward, the high amount of ward retention, and the ward per second. And then spamming your potions in a tough spot is really strong. That's straight up like 1500 ward. It's like that's almost the same amount you get. It's like having two flame wards. If I was gonna go defensive, I would put potion use, cleanse all element. Running the crab ring. And crab ring, armor, all attribute, swiftness. Swiftness, run fast. Glove. This is essentially what I want on a glove, but I wish it was on something else. Like a different base. This is a starter base. Along with this armor too, I think the best base is the mana spent gain as ward, but what you gonna do? This is really good. Um, best base boot right here. If you're building reduce bonus damage taken from crits, I just crafted this one. It's not it's not the worst. I do not need cooldown recovery. That could be entirely something else. Maybe more fire res. Who knows? I just decided to swap to this, and penetration is kind of insane. I mean, 12% penetration. That is nuts. That is insane. That's a lot of penetration. Uh, it definitely helps in pushing higher corruption bosses. So bossing is really nice with this one. I would love to say that what I had in my original planner would still be better, but the problem is I do not know. I have not tested because I every single knowledge of the erase I rolled brick. Like that's insane. Brick. Let's see here. Brick. I don't even know why I'm still keeping these. Actually, I have been rolling more than these. Oh, look. Nice. Decks. Nice. I love decks. Yeah. I don't even know why I'm keeping these. I actually been throwing them out as I roll them mid runs. So I would love to say that this could still be better than this, but I don't know. I don't know. Because I need a T7 on here to actually find out if a T7 Storm Carved is better than a T7 Knowledge. Plus, you get more stats on knowledge of a race, so. Idols, we are running. They're decent. I mean, yeah, they're decent. I mean, there's not much I could say. Armor, mana. These are probably the best early game when you're trying to get as much mana as possible. These are really good. Um, the spell damage with staff and war per second with staff is nice. That's probably the best thing to roll on this. Um, for this, we're going for more area. Area would be nice. Mana spent, gain as ward. I'm going for more mana here. The top stat is to be desired. The best thing you can roll on these ornates are ward per second, but I had so previously I had if you looked at the if you ever saw the old build guide I had, yeah, I had the adorn idols with the lightning damage, and I don't know if it's worth it. It's a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of damage. Like just tooltip, right? Tooltip don't say the whole story, but tooltip alone, if I had 3 of those idols on, or even 4, if I had 4, this tooltip could go kind of crazy. I think I could reach like maybe 800 or something tooltip. I don't know. But yeah, for small idols, we're going repos. Repos is really important. The best one you could get is a high roll lunar with repos. It's kind of nice. Um, it's or you could go inspire too. Inspire is really nice. High roll inspire with high roll repos. Yeah, just more mana overall. I mean, you're going for more mana. Now these stout idols are really strong too. The ward per second is a lot. That's a lot of ward per second for a stout idol. I think this would be kind of OP if you're going for full ward per second. You just fill this entire thing out with these. I think you'd be completely fine too. The only problem is you're not getting you know, you're just not getting as much mana and stuff. If you don't need mana. But yeah, so that is kind of what I'm running right now in those clips in those, you know, the demo. Actually, I don't even know how to end out a build guide. What do you even say? Um, yeah, if you like this build and have any questions, let me know. So, definitely not optimized. I think if you enjoy this play style a lot, like I mean a lot, you would have to enjoy this a lot. Which I enjoy it. I don't know if I enjoy it that much. But if you enjoy this a lot, I could see you reaching 1,000 corruption. I still don't know about Uber Aberoth. I mean, I could attempt Uber Aberoth with what I have right now, but I don't know. Mm, all right. Well, then it is 5:40 a.m. and it's time for me to go to bed. I'll see you guys. Thank you for watching.